What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's hardware review. Today we're going to be looking at the FREEZEPIPE. What I'm going to do in this first part of the video, I'm going to open it up, unbox it, show you guys what's in the box, and kind of just give you my first impressions. Then I'm going to go away, I'm going to use the product for a few days, test it out, clean it, try to find the best ways I can use it for me, and maybe figure out some tips that may help you guys use it as well. So first of all, let's open this packet up. And inside we have a plain brown box, and luckily I grabbed scissors because we got some tape here. And like I said, guys, this isn't going to be one of those videos where I just get it and smoke it on camera and act like I know everything about it. I'm actually going to open this now, look at it, show you guys what's going on, and then I'm going to go away and really test it out, really try my best to see how it works, basically. So, oh, cool, is that a grinder? I think that might be a little grinder, which is nice. Those are super handy. The ability to just have something that could just stay in your wallet. I think all you do is just rub your weed along this grate here, and it grate your weed. I mean, I don't really know how to explain that any better. Let's try and get this out without breaking it. So first of all, we've got a little card inside. Here we've got the little card that they put in the box. I'm going to put that there, so if any of you guys want to pause it and actually read what it says on the card. But then on the back, you also have a little instruction list on how best to use the FREEZEPIPE, which is awesome. But in here, we do have the FREEZEPIPE, so let's cut the tape off. And inside, we do have the FREEZEPIPE. So I'm going to take it out and put it to the side. We also have our bowl here. So this is the pipe. You've got your glycerin on the inside, which is that moving fluid, which you can see. And also, you've got your removable bowl. That is going to be so handy. Yeah, really nice looking product. You've got your branding on the front. You've also got your branding near the mouthpiece too, which says FREEZEPIPE, but really well made, nice weight to it. Doesn't feel super heavy, but it also doesn't feel like a crappy bit of plastic. It also seems like this would be quite easy to clean. One being that you have got a removable bowl, so you can just take it off and clean it how you please. But there's not really much going on the inside. Yeah, you've got your glycerin, which is what's going to freeze and give you that cool hit. But it's kind of just a single channel, really. There's no messing around. It kind of goes in there, does the spirals, and then comes out. So I think cleaning this with a bit of isopropyl alcohol and a bit of rock salt might be easy enough. Yeah, the airflow seems good. Obviously, I haven't got any flour in the bowl, but I was putting my thumb over the bowl, kind of just reenact less airflow. And the airflow seems awesome. So what I'm going to do now, guys, I can't really show you much else. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put this into the freezer, and I'm just going to use it for a few days. Like I just said to you guys, it's not going to be one of those videos where I just get it, try it, and say, yeah, it's great. Really going to test this out. I'm actually going to go off the camera now and test this out hard, and come back, do a little session on camera, and tell you guys what I think about this FREEZEPIPE. So let's get to it. So guys, we're back. I've got the FREEZEPIPE fresh out of the freezer. Really been testing this one out. I've been using it for about a week and a bit now, but not only have I been testing it, I've actually been passing it around and giving it to my friends and seeing what they think of this too. And I'll be looking at the dislikes and likes about this, and how I best use it, and how I clean it, and how I found it best to clean it, and all of that sort of stuff. But before we do that, we're going to chuck the bowl in. We're going to pack the bowl with some flour, and we're going to take a little hit on this. Cheers, guys. Amazing, amazing. This thing is just beautiful. You know it's good when it's not the heat of the flour that hurts you, it's just your lung capacity that hurts you. This thing has been an absolute joy to use because I'm getting the heavy eyes, the bloodshot eyes, but I'm not getting that pain in my chest that just kills you off for the whole session. Whew. I gotta be honest, guys, this thing is amazing. I'm getting the watery eyes, I'm getting the feeling like I'm taking a big bong hit, but I'm not getting that throat hit or that chest hit that you normally get from a bong or a pipe. It's smooth, it's cool, and I can definitely tell you the first time that I used this, I was in shock. I couldn't believe it. I'm not too big on bongs or pipes. I normally stick to vaporizing or smoking joints and stuff like that, but this has kind of given me a reason to hit a pipe from now on. And this has actually been my go-to smoking device recently because it's so easy. You can just keep it in the freezer, and it's so easy to just take out when you need it, use it, chuck it back in the freezer, and know that it's always ready when you need it most. Whew. I think the one thing that's stopping me with this pipe is my lung capacity. I could probably smoke this and go and go and go, but my lungs are just like, stop, you cannot hold the smoke. And a little shout out to this bowl too, because it's perfect. It's a great size, you can pack it full if you need to, you can put a little bit in if you need to. The way this is designed means that you don't have to pack a full bowl. You can, look, I'll just chuck a little bit in there, and then I'll be able to just take one quick hit. Yeah, that thing is smooth. So now I want to mention something that's actually quite small and no one really normally think about it, but it was definitely something that I thought about when I first saw this, and that is it rolling around. Look, you can see the shape of it, the way it's built. You would just imagine that this thing would just roll around on your desk and there'd be a chance of you putting it down and the next minute you know it's broken on the floor. But as you'll see, the way that the bowl is made, it is flat on both ends. So as you can see here, flat on both ends. And this little cap here, which I can only assume is the way that they get the glycerin in, stops the pipe from rolling. And I've actually tried it, and it does take quite a lot of effort just to get the pipe flat and turn it the other way. So first of all, I want to shout out FREEZEPIPE for making this a pipe that isn't just going to roll off your desk and smash. And talking about smashing, that's the other thing I want to talk about. You could really do some damage whacking someone across the head with this. Should I have said that? Now, I don't encourage you whacking someone over the head with the FREEZEPIPE, but this thing feels really well built. It's thick. It doesn't have that tinny, thin glass feel to it. The construction on this one is perfect, and look at it. It looks amazing as well. I really got to talk about the build quality of this FREEZEPIPE because I'm really impressed. Before we get on with this review, guys, let's take another hit for science. It's smooth. It really is smooth. I found with this FREEZEPIPE as well, I can definitely take bigger hits. With the bong, I normally just kind of put a little bit in there because my baby lungs, they just can't handle it. But I feel with this FREEZEPIPE, you can really pack it and hit it. Because like I said earlier, you don't get that scratchy throat or that burning throat or that feeling where your lungs feel like they're about to explode. This one, when it comes to smoothness, is good. And now I want to talk about the glycerin, the freeze, the coldness of this pipe and how long it lasts. And as you can see here, the glycerin has actually started moving again freely. It's definitely still cold, but I wouldn't say cold enough to where you can take 3 or 4 more hits out of this. I personally would probably put this back in the freezer now. I normally get about 4 to 6 hits out of this when I've taken it out of the freezer, and then I need to put it back in the freezer. And I've also done tests without using it and just taking it out of the freezer, putting it on the side, and how long it takes to melt then. And it obviously all depends on your living room and where you're living and the heat in that area. But for me, I felt as though about 30 minutes and then the glycerin started kind of going liquid again and you need to put it back in the freezer. I only say that because there might be some of you who take it out. You know, we get high, we forget things. And you forget that you even take it out of the freezer. So how much time do you have after you take it out of the freezer to take a hit? And I'd say about 30 minutes and then that glycerin starts kind of going liquid again. Let's take another hit. Yeah, there we go. Now I'm starting to get that throat punch a bit. But even then, that is another thing I want to say about this pipe. You don't have to use it cold. This is like a 2-in-1 pipe. You're getting a pipe where it's cold and you've got the benefits, but even when it goes warm again and it goes to liquid, you can just still use this as a normal pipe. So they say to leave the freeze pipe in the freezer for about an hour and then you're ready to go, which for me is perfect, but the way that I actually do it is it kind of just lives in my freezer. It's safe to just stay in the freezer until you need it, and that's kind of its life. When I need it, I take it out. When I'm done with it, I put it back in the freezer. And that is when I get on to my next thing. I feel as though you can really use this plenty of times without having to clean it. I've only cleaned this once in about a week, and that might sound gross, but remember, there's no water to this. The only real thing that's going to build up in here is resin, so you don't need to worry about ash or water or anything like that. And again, another tip, this thing is super easy to clean. So now let's get on to the segment on how I show you how to clean the freeze pipe. And this is how I clean the freeze pipe, guys. We're going to start off by looking at the bowl because this is the dirtiest part of the pipe, obviously. You've got your ash and your resin in there. But as you'll see, the pipe, a little bit of resin coming through, maybe a little bit of water from the thawing out process, but really not dirty at all. As you will see here, I've got a bag full of isopropyl alcohol and rock salt, and I'm going to chuck the pipe into there, and all you need to do is get that isopropyl alcohol and rock salt running through the pipe, going in one end and out the other, and that's literally the best way and the easiest way that I found to clean the freeze pipe. But now we're going to move over to the bowl. I put in a little bit of an isopropyl alcohol bath, and then I got a toothpick, and that seemed to get all the resin and the ash out of the holes. But then I found a brush. This toothbrush was terrible, but guys, find a brush, give it a little bit of a brush with some isopropyl alcohol, it'll come out brand new. And that's the easiest and fastest and cheapest way that I found to clean the freeze pipe. The next thing I want to talk about, guys, is this removable bowl. Imagine how much more annoying this product would be if you had to tip the bowl like that, and just cleaning it would be a nightmare. The fact that the bowl is removable is a game changer. That really makes this so much easier to use, so much more enjoyable to use, and that task which everyone hates, which is cleaning their glass, it makes that so much easier to use as well, as you just saw. So yeah, that removable bowl is just such a lifesaver. But it's not only that as well. The fact that you can actually lift the bowl like you would with a bong, again, makes it easier to clear the pipe too. And also, as you can see there, there's a little carb hole on the side of the pipe, which again makes this so much better to use, so much more convenient to use. And mixing it in with that removable bowl, the whole bowl process on this pipe is great. So guys, I'm pretty blasted right now, but we're going to finish off this video by hitting one last bowl. Whew. I will say that's still doable, even when it's not frozen. That thing's actually not even cold now. Even when it's not frozen, that's still smoother than a lot of bongs I've tried. And overall, guys, I actually can fault this pipe. I can't find any negatives about it. You may think that you have to wait for an hour to freeze, it might be a negative, but for me, like I said, the way I store this kind of doesn't make that an issue. But this thing is great. It was super useful, super enjoyable to use. The friends that I actually used it with said that they really enjoyed using it too, and I haven't really had an experience like this. Yeah, we've all put ice in our bongs, but you know that just raises the water level and makes it an absolute nightmare to use sometimes. You all know when you use a bong with ice in it, you put it down, you take it up the next day and it spills everywhere. No one likes that. I just feel like this is such a good item to use, especially for people like me who doesn't really smoke a huge amount, and I just think this would come in super handy. Pipes can be a little harsh, but the fact that you get the added freeze to it, this piece has just been, like I said, super enjoyable to use, super clean, cold, and I will say this kind of makes me enjoy smoking weed a lot more. Okay, I lied, I'm going to take one more. yeah, there's nothing wrong with this, whether it's frozen or not. And that is my review of the FREEZEPIPE, guys. This thing was super enjoyable to use. This is actually going to be one of those things that I do use off camera too. I feel as though the way you can just chuck it in the freezer and take it out and put it back in when you need to makes this thing super efficient and super easy to actually use. I hate having to change the water in my bongs all the time and cleaning them all the time. This is one of those ones where it's kind of like, if you need me, I'll be there ready to go kind of things. And like I said, that just made it super easy to use. Being able to pass it around friends and all of you enjoy that little freeze cycle that you do get off this. I just really enjoyed using it. I'm not going to lie, guys. So that's my review done. I am going to say, though, they actually sent me the FREEZEPIPE bubbler too. Yeah, you can connect a bubbler to the end of this to make the hit not only cold through the bubbler, but also freezing through the pipe. So that is going to be a video soon if you want to watch that. Click that subscribe button. But as the end of the video, guys, if you enjoyed it, remember to leave a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, put some comments in the comment section, and I'll speak to you guys later.